Once upon a time, in the year 1237, there was a little Muslim city called Al-Qáceres. Its streets were built in grey rocks and its towers were built in red clay. The Muslim city was the Christians' army objective because a wicked Muslim sultan controlled it. The city was a place that the Muslims used to take shelter before going to the war.
I'm a dragon, yes, and I'm a big dragon. The Sultan's daughter was called Mansawara and welcomed me from a desert. She had always liked me, but she was the only one. Nobody else visited me. I have 2 powerful wings and big teeth. I don't remember my parents, but I thought that my mother was Mansawara, but I wanted to get out from the cave. I am also green, and I have a mouth that throws fireballs, but I never throw them. I'm good. I'm also very big, and at night I sometimes fly over the city. It was in war, and not many people had a house. So I got very sad when I saw the poor people. I hate the Sultan because it was his fault.
In a dungeon, in a dark, cold and scary dungeon. I was always there, and I never go to the surface during the day because my eyes were not used to it. The only thing that lighted my dungeon was Mansawara. She was the only thing I loved. She treated me very well. She fed me and gave me cookies and stayed with me.
Now I'm going to tell you the story that happened with the Princess Mansawara and the Christian captain about 3 years ago. They had a love story. They fell in love at the first time they saw each other. The Christian captain rescued the princess from the room where the Sultan kept her when he locked her in the castle. Then the Christians won the war, so they married and lived together.
My owner, Princess Mansawara, was a very pretty girl. She was Sultan's daughter. She was very tall. All the boys wanted to marry her, but she didn't love anyone. She had sweet blue eyes and wavy blonde hair. Some mornings she woke me up with the sweet sound of her flute.
Mansawara was always lonely. She always walked alone, ate alone. I think I was the only friend Mansawara had. When she was little, she found a friend, but her father took her family out of the city. Since then, Mansawara didn't talk to anybody else except me, her father, and the people in the palace. Mansawara's father, the Sultan, looked very ugly. He had a long scruffy beard, a big nose, black eyes, and was always dressed in dark long clothes. He didn't take care of her. He was distracted because of the war, so Mansawara was very sad. She thought that her father didn't love her.
The war between the Christian and the Muslim had started because the Christian wanted to take the city of Alcáceres back. This had lasted for 10 years. The Christian fought with sword and shield. The Muslim armor were green and the Christians were white. The Muslims were very angry because they thought the Christians were winning the war.
The captain of Christian's military was the son of the king. He had brown curly hair and green eyes. He had a scar on his cheekbone and a bright golden ring with sapphires and rubies on his left hand. The citizens from Alcáceres said he was kind and cheerful, but also serious when it was necessary.
One day, Mansawara went out from the castle. Later, a gentleman with a white and beautiful horse went through the wall and she fell in love with him. But she got frightened and she fell down the stairs. The gentleman saw her and helped her. Then Mansawara saw that he was the Christian captain. They spoke for a long time.
When the Christian captain left the castle, Mansawara went to the garden. She was looking at the fountain while she was making a flower crown with lilies, geraniums, and roses. She looked very sad. In the meantime, the Christians were planning how to attack the Muslims. They thought that if the captain had fallen in love with the Princess Mansawara, he could provide some information or the key to the city.
I was flying around
wrong, but I was able to listen to them, and I told the princess that the captain had fallen in love with her, and that he was going to the castle that night. I was curious, and I asked to the princess that was happening to her. Then, to my surprise, Mansaura spoke to me looking at the ground. However, the most striking thing was that she told me that she had in love with the Christian captain too.
She told me she was in love with the Christian captain. I worried a lot because how could she love a captain? We were in war and the Christian captain was the only thought inside her head. Their love was impossible. If her father knew, he would kill him. And I was worried that terrible things could happen to the captain and Mansabara too.
Then she told me that she wanted to give the key to the Christian, and I told her that it was a crazy idea. But later I thought it longer and decided that it would be a good idea, so I met with her again and I told her so. We were practicing together what she was going to tell him, and then she decided to write a letter. Aurora wrote a letter to the captain. There she wrote, "I can leave if you aren't close to me. Can we meet tonight in the city wall?" Then she came to the cave to see me. She showed me the letter and kissed me under my wings.
As Aurora finished the letter that she wanted to give to the Christian captain, she asked me for a favor. I had to give the letter to the captain, so I agreed. I had to give the letter to him, but first I had to prepare and eat something in order to fly. Then, when night arrived, I flew to the Christian camp and gave the letter to the captain.
Captain read the letter and decided to attack me because he thought I was bad. But I told the captain that I had always helped Mansabora, that I was her friend. Then the captain listened to me and decided not to kill me because he loved her and he didn't want to see her cry. Then I visited the princess and told her that he loved her, so he couldn't do anything wrong to me.
The captain went to Alcáceres city to talk to the princess about the letter I had given to him. I was listening to the conversation, and the Princess Mansabora gave him the key of the underground galleries to enter the city. He wanted him to save her. Then I saw him passing through the door.
The soldiers entered the city of Alcáceres, and I saw them. They came riding big horses, and they were carrying shiny swords. The horses were tired. I imagine it was because of the long way they had run. They went through the city walls after a lot of tries. People didn't want the soldiers to enter, so they tried to slew them, but they couldn't. And the soldiers had to kill some people from the city.
And in that moment, the captain went to the Sultan's castle. He wanted to rescue Mansabora from her father. He wanted to marry with her, but the Sultan was so angry that decided to fight with him. The fight was impressive and harmful, but the captain thought that it was good for rescue Mansabora. I know it because I saw them.
The Sultan and the captain were fighting. The Sultan was winning the battle, but when the Sultan was going to kill the captain escaped to the second floor, and the Sultan followed with him. When the Sultan found him, the captain escaped him.
I was at the top of the tower, and I saw the Sultan with a man. I got closer to them, and I saw that the other man was the Christian captain. Then the Sultan took a knife, and later the Sultan put the knife on the captain's neck. I flew down to the Sultan's garden, where they were at the moment, and I took the captain with me to the city wall where Princess Mansabora was.
There, the captain and Mansabora were able to talk. "Hello, I've been dreaming with this moment for a long time. I'm very happy to have met you," Mansabora said. "I've been dreaming with this moment for a long time too. I fell in love with you the first time I saw you." Mansabora looked very embarrassed, and she was sitting next to the captain. He was looking at her eyes. They got closer and closer, and they kissed.
Into the place where the lovely pair was, and I took them to a beautiful park with a lot of colorful flowers and many wooden branches. Then the captain held Mansabora to calm down. She almost cried. They laughed for a bit, and then she kissed him. It was a beautiful moment.
Mansaura and the captain walked around the park. There were different kinds of flowers, red, yellow, white. They were going hand in hand. I thought that they were the most beautiful couple in the world. The captain gave a flower to Mansaura, and then he asked her to marry him. Mansaura accepted. One day I came back to the city. I had been eating some sheep. There were a lot of people, but I didn't know why. They were talking, and I listened to them that say that the captain and my princess Mansaura were getting married. I felt very happy.
I'm very happy now because the captain and Mansaura have given me a house and they have adopted me. Now they rule Alcáceres, and Christians and Muslims live all together in peace. This place has changed so much. The captain and Mansaura are waiting for their second baby. The first boy is called Leonardo, and now he is 2 years old.